just focus on Froggen, focus on that mid lane meta. Apex, though, I think they might have hurt us, banning away Anivia for that first one as we enter into picks and bans for Apex versus Echo Fox.
Nivea taken away. I assume that there will be a Vladimir ban at some point. You know, call me a prophet.
Vladimir very strong.
A pick or a ban. You know, I'm getting less sure of it as it goes on.
Top lane priority also banned away. Ray,
Yeah.
very important for Apex, so no surprise to see that Trundle taken away from him. But Shen banned away from KFO.
Yeah, they're getting rid of a lot of those tanks and going towards more of the fight each other, Aurelias, Fioras, leaving those up at the moment. Swain still on the table. Vlad and Rise threaten to both make it through at this point.
Yeah, but Kindred banned away from Shrimp. He's been playing a lot of Rek'Sai. Hasn't gotten a chance to play Kindred in a while.
Wow, yeah. Keen actually they ban away their own Cassiopeia against Froggen because he played it so well yesterday, multiple times, in matter of fact, and had a lot of success on it, and it's a fantastic carry. So now, Rise, Vladimir, and Rek'Sai all on the table, all first pick worthy.
We'll see what the final ban is going to come down to for Echo Fox. They've got 3 seconds left on the counter. Ooh, last second. They actually
ban nothing.
Ban a champion.
They're geniuses, but not really.
So Vladimir is going to get through. That's picked up right away by Apex.
So another thing to have a coach for is pick and ban phase. So I'm joking. But now they get to take Rek'Sai and Rise if they want both of them. You could have thrown the ban at maybe something else. Thin out the jungle pool even and be like, hey, let's get Elise off of there. So they're more inclined to pick the Rek'Sai.
So I just heard that Echo Fox missed their ban because they were talking too much, couldn't make up their mind in time. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. So a coach is needed for that. I can't actually think of the last time that has happened because of that reason.
So already Echo Fox, we'll see if they can make do with only 2 bans. Now 10 seconds for that first pick. You can see KFO giving us the old Demacia smile, but don't think he's going to take it. Instead, it's Aurelia locked in for KFO, and Karma likely going to be going to big on support.
Yep, Karma coming through so they don't give it over to Apex and have it synergize with the Vladimir. That's absolutely deadly combo. You can't have both those champions on the same team.
Yeah. Sivir still an option for Apollo. We'll see if he tries to take that for enabling that Vladimir.
Yeah, and it was actually banned against him yesterday by Team Liquid one time, and then he ended up picking Jhin in the other game. So Apollo, you know, he does have an inclination to go towards that Sivir, but could be something he picks up here.
Apex looking for their next 2 picks. Likely going to try holding on to that mid lane or top lane just a little bit more. Don't show where that Vladimir is going to go, and keeping those primary carries still hidden as Rek'Sai is locked in for Shrimp and Xpecial returning to that Braum.
Yeah, right now, Saint is probably going, these are the picks that if we could blind pick, we would want. Like, they'd love the Vladimir for Keen, they'd love Shrimp on Rek'Sai, and also Xpecial having Braum. Definitely the best champion for him right now.
He's been having pretty good performance from time to time. It's been a little bit difficult.
Yeah, he got some player of the games first week, first game, or first match, first 2 games. He got player of the game on Braum in both of them. And he was leading supports at the time, doing a fantastic job. But as it went on, Apex played more towards the top lane and then a little bit more towards the mid lane. And really, Keen has been their standout player lately alongside Ray.
We'll have to see if Xpecial will give us a player of the game performance once again today on that Braum as Echo Fox decide to commit to Olaf, locked in for hard. Going to be hunting down somebody squishy and immobile. Varus got me thinking that's probably not the best champion when up against an Olaf. But Lucian also locked in for Keith.
The Olaf alongside the Karma going to allow him to dive the back line, and having the Aurelia. Olaf really needs a dive buddy, and Aurelia is going to help with that. So you have to be really careful about your AD carry here. If you go with the Sivir, then you're going all in on getting Vladimir in there. But if you pick something like an Ezreal, you give yourself a little bit more escapability. I'll make that a word.
Escapability. Ability to escape. It's not one word.
In case you didn't
two.
understand.
It's two different words, in fact. But Jax is going to be locked in for Ray. That means that Keen's taking Vladimir in the mid lane, and APX, once again, looking like they might just set up that 1-4 split push that they are so very fond of.
Yep, it's the 1-4, like you said. Giving them a Rift Herald early on would be fantastic for Ray in that top lane on the Jax. The Jax-Aurelia matchup is always a great one to watch. Aurelia has the advantage early on. Jax takes it over around level 9, a little bit further than that. And honestly, Aurelia can get back in it very easily from that point onward. It comes down to who uses their E first.
Yeah.
Because if Jax uses it first, Aurelia uses hers and walks away. Or if she uses her first, then Jax just turns it around afterwards and gets to smack her a whole bunch.
Froggen, though, thinks he can burst down that Jackson Vladimir with Azir. The Shuriman?
Not even going to try.
The Emperor of Shurima returns in the mid lane. And Echo Fox looks like they're going to try to play around that mid lane with that Azir. Very strong team comp. They've got some dive. They've got some disengage.
Yep. And honestly, Vladimir versus Azir, not a bad matchup for either of them. Early on, Vladimir, he can get bullied out. It depends on how the Vladimir player plays, but he can sustain back up. Azir's going to have to watch and have a little more control over his blue buff early. And then as it hits the mid game, Froggen trying to keep Keen away is going to be key.
Yeah. Keen has had some pretty stellar performances in the mid lane, almost as if he has a sixth sense for when people are ganking. But before we get off into this match, join us on the conversation on Twitter. Vote for the team you want to see win with either hashtag APXWin or hashtag FOXWin. And we'll track the vote throughout the series as Echo Fox looking to turn around that 1-6 win record and get themselves closer towards that middle of the pack.
Yeah, right now they're sitting at the bottom, and I believe tied for 9th place, 8th place. It's kind of a couple people around there, but only one game ahead of 10th, where Phoenix 1 is currently sitting. So Echo Fox, they really desperately need to climb up the standings. This was a team that in spring, they were like, all right, we are a summer split team. Summer split's going to come around. We're going to have all this practice. We didn't change our roster at all. We should be focused, and then they didn't really get off the ground. Some problems in their improvement, some problems with the meta shift. They played a KFO more, that's great, but overall, the team just hasn't seemed to figure out what they want to do with their support and their jungler, honestly. I think that Hard and also Big, as well as Keith, like it's kind of hard to figure out where they fit into this team. Are they the primary engagers? Well, Froggen's the one who's really calling a lot of this. Big, he wants to be an engager, but we're on range supports now who have a little bit more disengage, and it's become a little bit of a different meta there for just slightly.
Yeah, Keith has been playing a lot of Jhin, plus the occasional Sivir and Caitlyn games, so...
And he looked like he was going to be great at the start. That Sivir auto-attack animation cancel with the ricochet that people were showing up on Reddit.
Well, that's the thing that we always repeat whenever we look at these teams. Having individually skilled players does not make a team.
Does not a great team make.
Yes. It's seeing that team play among these great players is what makes them great.
Great. But yes, I do think that League of Legends is an incredibly team-based game right now. You can't as easily carry by just being a single-fed member, except for mid laners. There's a lot of mid laners now that can do that. And that's why it's so mid lane focused. Top laners, things like the Jax and the Aurelia, they can go off, but they really are all about, I dive the backline and I kill the AD carry, I kill one of their primary sources of damage, and then I keep their mid laner distracted while we start killing the rest of them. And Hard, he's gonna die
collapsed
here.
on. He goes first blood Apex as they collapse.
That's so confusing because he was there, he ghosts, and he starts running down. His base is north, by the way. He started running down into Apollo. Like,
yeah, I think he might have been trying to make his way to KFO, but even so, that was a very optimistic retreat path.
well, KFO should be helping him instead of trying to leech the wave in a lane swap, because they are the ones lane swapping. Fox is the ones lane swapping. So they would 100% know that this is what's going to happen, or they should at least prepare for it. Incredibly confusing. But it does look like Hard thought that Apollo was going to come from the top side. So that's why he went that way. I'm trying to find out the justification behind it, or like the reasoning for what happened there. So Special kind of got the better of him. Special went all the way around the blue buff and tagged him, and then he goes, oh god, Ezreal's going to come up next from above my blue. Instead of running that way, he runs down and Apollo's actually there. So
yeah,
unlucky.
But the lane swap has been initiated by the two. Looks like Echo Fox in the top lane are going to try to grant solo gold to KFO.
Yeah.
Whereas Ray on the far side will get solo gold as well.
Froggen bullying out the mid lane too. Quite good. In a lane swap, the mid laners are kind of left on an island. They get to do their own thing. But not an island anymore.
Apex burn onto Froggen. He's able to dash out, but forced to burn his own flash.
Yeah, he burns his flash, but he gets 3 flashes in return and the ghost out of Keen. Like, Froggen played that absolutely perfectly. Multiple people come to gank him, gets out alive, and gets way more summoner spells. 1 for 4, if we're counting summoner spells.
Yeah, so Froggen's still a very talented mid laner as expected, but once again, Echo Fox not quite showing us that they have got the communication to play as a top-level team. Missing a ban, and then Hard not quite understanding or making the correct play on that blue side of the map. Ends up starting them off at a 1-kill, 700, 800 gold deficit.
Yeah, and it's actually really good by Apex to call that. Special went a really unique route around to the blue buff, and then Apollo came up. And Hard, you want to be low when you're Olaf in the jungle, and they recognize that. They recognize that Hard is going to try to get lower so he has more attack speed, and they took advantage.
Not quite sure why Hard decided to reset the blue there, but...
He might be giving it to Froggen early. Froggen might just be calling for that early blue buff.
Yeah.
Because it's Vladimir, right?
Yeah, he's heading over there right now. So yeah, the early blue going to be gifted over to Froggen.
Yeah.
Play around the mid laner.
It's a little interesting because you expect the Vladimir to get an early blue because it's Rek'Sai. But of course, it just helps him with CDR and helps him with the AP. But the Froggen needs it. The Froggen, yep.
The one Froggen. The one and
He's the
only.
leader of the team. He's the Don. He's the Froggen.
Don Froggen. And as you can see, the lane swap continues for the double turret. KFO again getting solo gold on the bottom side. And Apex doing the same, just a little bit slower. Taking that top wave. Ray, minor CS advantage, but at this point it's pretty negligible as they're even in CS, even in experience. Ooh, that was a late recall, but Apollo
look at
gets
that top
out.
Side. That top side though, Ray overstayed right now, and oh, Karma's gonna back off. Big's actually gonna back off.
Okay. He's got a pink ward in the river, so he sees it coming and is safe retreating.
He actually just hangs out in that bush and backs, so they don't chase him down. And Fox decided to go for the camp instead, clearing it out. And you had neck and neck right now in those fan votes. Despite Fox being 1-6, and Apex at the 3-4 record, which they're trying to improve on as well and prove that they're a middle attack team. Apex just ever so slightly ahead.
KFO going for the standard recall. As long as he doesn't move, he'll be fine. Recall completes and he heads back safe. Meanwhile, Keith and Big are continuing to shove in the top lane as Hard is bullied out of his own jungle. Apex look to do the same, but they've got more members on this side of the map.
Hard's probably going to get wrecked this game in CS. Shrimp loves Rek'Sai, and one of the big reasons is he gets to invade and always know where the jungler is. Like, because even if he's not on that side and you don't see him with Tremor Sense, you know he's on the other side. So he keeps doing that, and you can see he's already doubled Hard CS. He hasn't backed yet. Hard still level 4, 2 levels up for Shrimp. It just gets worse as well, because Shrimp starts invading your jungle with superior stats, and you can't do anything about it.
4 members of Apex shoving the tier 2, while right now it's only 2 for Echo Fox, but they did get there first.
Oh boy.
It's a race to take down those tier 2 turrets as quickly as possible.
If the race continues though, and they start base racing, that gets really scary. Ray looks like he's going to continue to shove it into the turret. They haven't backed yet.
Yeah, still not seeing any recalls out of Echo Fox.
You really want Rift Herald. They really want to get Rift Herald because they're on this side, but look at that Look at that bottom wave.
Yeah, seems as though Apex well aware of it, currently heading towards that side. You can see Special waiting in the wings, along with Apollo.
Yeah, but this is all denied CS as well. And then on that top side, it's going to get picked up.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sucks. What were you saying, though?
Oh, no. Just they're not going for the Rift Herald instead. They decide to back off. Don't want to get collapsed on by Apex. Currently sitting at a 700 gold lead. Minor advantage for Ray. As you mentioned, that CS was denied. So, again, funneling the golden experience onto that top lane carry.
Yeah, Fox, it didn't look like they knew what to do with that wave. Did they want to do Rift Herald? Were they going to back completely off and go defend their bottom tier 3, I guess, their inhibitor turret?
Yeah.
But regardless of all those choices, they didn't make the choice of shoving up that top wave. So Ray gets to freeze it in front of his inhibitor turret, and now KFO gets to freeze that wave. Not as hard, though, on the bottom side.
Should be able to catch up just a bit. Meanwhile, Shrimp, as you mentioned, very high up in CS over hard. You can see Apollo actually relatively low in CS compared to Keith. As expected, the teams playing around, Apex playing around the top lane, Echo Fox playing around the mid, and AD carry. Minor trade-offs here. We'll see how that develops as the game continues. Shrimp trying to spot out Keith is going to take some punishment, but gets his tunnel down. 8 members grouped up in the mid lane while the top laners split. That's 7. That was a recall finished by Keen. So he's heading back now to catch up with everyone. Echo Fox really want this Rift Herald. They've been setting up for this for a long time.
Yeah, you can't let KFO have it, and it really tilts. Or sorry, can't let Ray have it, and it really tilts that matchup and allows Jax to have superiority even earlier than Level 9.
Keith going to try to break it. Instead, it's going to end up slow pushing for Apex. Recall means that Ray picks up his Sheen and the Phage, so he's going for the big bop instead of the Stinger. Man after my own heart as he heads now bottom to catch the wave prepped by KFO. Apollo's actually going to escort this wave and try to break it before KFO can catch this and freeze it on his own.
Yeah, he's trying to just push it all the way out, which makes it honestly freeze a little bit harder if KFO decides to hold it there, but it allows them to have agency over the top half of the map.
Yeah, more importantly, they've got more people on that Rift Herald side, and with Ray's teleport, they might try to contest it.
Yeah.
Now Keith and
Fox,
KFO.
though. Fox have 4 members up here. They're too strong. Shrimp has ultimate. Maybe he can get over there, but Special's going to try to ward this.
Oh, no.
And they
He's going to be spotted out. He's going to flash to dodge to Apollo, but Flash snares Apollo. It's traded back. Special is going to end up sacrificing his life so that Apollo can live while Keith gets gifted the first kill for Echo Fox.
Yeah, if he had actually walked off to the left side, they could have just gone after both of them and had the Olaf just continue to chase him down. So good play there by Special. Gives the kill back that he got at the beginning of the game. But these CS numbers are still getting Apex a 1,000 gold.
Yeah, trying to open it back up. That does mean Echo Fox, as you said earlier, have got agency over this top side of the map, but they're not going to try to force down that Rift Herald. Shrimp maybe looking for some fighting with Froggen as the waves are pushed in. Apex continually roaming and sending members towards that mid lane from preventing Froggen from getting too strong too fast, as that Azir can be terrifying. But still, slower early game. Both of the teams really trying to feel each other out and look for weaknesses.
Yeah, and nobody's really gone for those objectives because both teams seem like they'd be ready to go for that fight. I'm also very surprised that nothing happened when Froggen got 4 summoner spells for his flash, right? They got specials, you got Shrimps, you got both the Keens, and nothing happened. Hard didn't like try to go find Shrimp in the jungle. They didn't try to go where Special was. They were still just avoiding each other in the lane swap. And those were opportunities that you had to take an advantage.
Apex, as a 3-man unit, are able to secure the first Drake of the game, Cloud Drake, just by continually roaming that group around, keep chasing Echo Fox around the map, trying to upset these matchups. And with that, they are able to secure it, meaning they can shift their ward vision over to the top side. You can see 1, 2, 3 pink wards all around that Rift Herald. And Ray's actually heading down towards the mid lane right now, so they might be looking for it in just a few minutes.
I feel like this is a little bit of a mistake to give that wave to Keith, just because KFO is already down 800 gold. The Trinity Force is completed for Ray. There's no way that he's able to duel Ray at this moment. And Keith was already about 15, 20 CS up.
Yeah, and immediately the Rift Herald is started the moment they see KFO on the other side of the map. Big's going to get a ward over the pit, but that's going to be one tough Rift Herald to last hit. Echo Fox, though, group up. They look like they might want to fight this.
If they do, Apex is a little more power spiked right now with the completed Manamune versus the parts of the Yomus.
Ooh.
The Spirit Visage. All right, just overall, everything is a little bit more in favor of Apex.
True Shot Barrage does some good damage, but the Rift Herald resets. So Apex aren't able to finish it off, though they will continue to play on this side of the map with Scuttle Crab secured. Ray is spotted by a ward, so they know that he's up here, and they've got a couple of people in the jungle. They could try to look for a collapse. But for now, Apollo and Xpecial, they're actually heading towards that top side as well.
The ward that was in the Tri-Brush that was protecting Keith expired, and they were able to sneak in there.
So just maneuvering around the map, keep Apollo and Xpecial moving with Shrimp providing backup, fighting over vision as much as possible. KFO has had the opportunity to freeze that bottom lane for quite some time now, so should be able to finish off that Trinity Force next time he recalls. But Apex taking agency, running Echo Fox around the map. Now they're going to try starting off the Rift Herald again. Echo Fox have been waiting on this side for quite some time.
They're going to walk around. Froggen almost there. Got to hit the eye one more time, and then Smite will do it.
Oh, it is going to be Smite secured, exhaust, but Big goes down to Keen. Hard is forced to Ragnarok and roll out of there. There goes the Shifting Sands. Emperor's Divide splits that up.
And the Rift Herald buff went to Xpecial.
Oh no.
So, mission sort of accomplished.
I mean, they did get the buff.
Yeah. Trade 1 kill for the Rift Herald going on to the, honestly, one of the worst people to have it on, because he's supposed to attach himself to somebody. If the support's ever alone, then it's probably a problem. You know what? It'll help him
On his solo warding missions.
Yeah, it'll also help him. If he charges it up, runs into a lane, and hits a cannon minion, you know, he'll be able to execute it better now with his relic shield. So, we did it. Figured out the best case scenario for it. Oh yeah, it's Eye and then Smite right there.
Oh, and Ray runs to the buff immediately. The true tragedy.
Oh, he wanted it so badly, and in the chaos of everything, Xpecial just picked it up.
Yep.
It was an honest mistake.
But Xpecial, as you can see, last hitting like a boss. With that relic shield.
Doesn't need the Rift
But
Herald
yeah,
buff.
he's got 5% damage reduction whenever he's on his own. So whenever he goes for deep wards, that's like 5% bonus health. For getting those wards down.
5% effective more HP.
Yep. Now Echo Fox looking to head towards the bottom side and break the freeze that Ray was slowly cultivating. They will shove it in, but Ray...
Yeah, it's like, who's gonna get that ward? It regens some HP, so...
Whoops.
Yeah.
And back up.
Those things heal now. There we go.
Gifting the gold over to Keith.
Wanted the minion wave before it died. The
Yep.
ward was gonna stay there, so...
They've got time. 16, 17 minutes in. Apex, 1,500 gold leads. Cultivating slow, small advantages. Ray is going to be able to catch this minion wave. And Xpecial, he's charging up that Rift Herald buff. Oh, check out the cannon minion. Here he goes. Oh,
Ooh,
worth.
it sounds juicy too when he hits it. Like, great.
In trade-off, though, Hard and the rest of Echo Fox will invade into Apex's jungle, steal away that Raptor camp with Smite as well. So they are going to take that razor-sharp buff and try to deny Shrimp some of his ward-clearing ability. Rushing down mid lane, looking for Keen, but he's got Flash and Ghost. The snare finds him, but the rest of Apex are protecting that mid laner as much as possible. This recall should be just in time for the Cloud Drake to spawn. This would be number 2 for Apex, but Echo Fox are fighting tooth and nail over vision on that side of the map.
It's a Cloud Drake, though, so they aren't really too concerned with that. It's more about pushing the waves out. They'll get it in their leisure.
Shrimp actually
though,
might be looking to collapse. Hard
Just
trying to catch back up. Still down 25 CS. As Shrimp has been invading left and right and just trying to get a big advantage. Ray, in his native environment, split pushing and shoving into the enemy tier 2. More so on Jax. Now he's level 10, so he finally can try to 1v1 KFO as it's Trinity Force versus Trinity Force.
Yeah, and the fact that he went Merc Treads, also really big. Reduces the duration of the stun from Aurelia if it ever does happen, which is honestly her edge in this matchup. That her stun is instant and she can come back from it and heal a lot from her ultimate.
Continuing to work on that CS lead, whereas Keith has a CS lead of his own. And with all the pressure put on mid lane to try to shut down Froggen with Apex roaming over and over, in fact, it's Keen who's down in CS. About 30 right now.
Yeah, almost 40. They're playing around Froggen pretty well. He's mostly playing around himself, though. He's dodging a lot of these ganks. He just calls them in to give a blue buff, and that's it. But meanwhile, Ray does steal the red away, which is an okay tool for the Olaf. If he's able to chain his axes together, he doesn't need it, but honestly, it's a great tool for your top laner in this 1v1. Every little bit helps.
Yeah. Making it so much easier to lock people down with undertow after undertow. Pretty big wave building on the top side. Ray with the recall.
I think Ray should go straight to the Drake instead of going top lane, because this top lane is going to take a long time to actually reach his turret. We're talking like 30, 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have to use TP and could maybe even force out KFOs if they started to do it immediately.
But what if he snipes some CS from his own jungle, then picks up the minion wave, then teleports in?
Then that would be
even more gold. Onto the solo split push Jax on the opposite side of the map. The rest of the teams, though, trying to jockey over vision. It's mostly cleared out by the two. Apex, slight advantage in wards by that Cloud Drake pit. And KFO's doing the same thing. Let's see if he actually stops for the Krugs. Oh, he does. Top laners unite.
Jungler's worst enemy is his own teammate.
You got this mid laner demanding blue buff. You got this top laner demanding Krugs.
Carry wants my red.
Oh, man.
They start taking my Raptors, too. Like, just at least let me have my Raptors.
Yeah.
That's what I care about, is the Raptor buff.
But Cloud Drake number 2 picked up without a contest from Echo Fox as they've managed to catch Hard's recall. Keen is going to boldly walk forward. Drops the ghost, still hanging on to his flash. If he can heal this back up, that would help a lot. Yeah, 700 health.
Keen just doesn't Sanguine Pool. I'm really confused. He doesn't use it because he's just going to chunk him out, and he decides not to. It's kind of confusing. He just runs away and uses the Summoner spell instead. Yeah, because Sanguine Pool does increase your movement speed.
Decides instead to just ghost and walk it off. Well, you can't transfusion while you're in the pool.
Yeah, he's still just running away from culling, right? I don't know.
Yeah, he
did it afterwards.
Yeah, he was hoping for the huge heal, which he found. Ray continuing to farm it up.
He'd probably do it just to dodge an important ability, maybe a Froggen Doe. But still, Froggen now hitting those beautiful attack speed spikes. Ever since the buffs to the Berserker Greaves, we are seeing Berserker Greaves on Azir. Honestly, more so than a lot of AD carries. It just feels fantastic. And you also, with the Rylai's, end up getting 3 autos off, 2, 3. Ooh. And sometimes you can get 4 if the person doesn't react fast enough. You get the Q, 1, 2. And then,
only 2 that time.
Yeah, only 2 that time. But unlucky.
Froggen ever present in this mid lane, now a solid level up over Keen and 50 CS as that advantage is growing more and more. Echo Fox have been trying to play the map to keep pace with Apex rotating around, but once again, their win condition might just be Froggen in the mid lane.
I definitely think it's Froggen in the mid lane here. Their split push, not the best right now. Ray, he's going to continue to get an advantage there. I think he's going for Frozen Mallet based off of his build. So it's a little more team.
Whoa.
We'll see.
Shrimp gets caught out in the jungle. Special leaps in to try to save him. Flashes aggressively
Big.
onto Big. Keen goes in. They've started the Baron. Frog's going to be frogging over the wall. He will survive the Hemo Plague, but Ray teleports in and picks up his first kill. Continues to chase forward. Look at the damage onto Keith. And Special
Gives him the chair.
kill secured.
Froggen's gonna have to back as well. Right around the Baron. And Apex decide not to collapse on it because Heart still up, but look at those flashing health bars. It could have been a risk that they went for, but decide not to.
Shrimp on a deep warding mission finds Hard recalling, forces him away, and clears out some of these wards for himself while Keen continues to farm it up. KFO did not teleport in. His teleport is off of cooldown.
Yeah, it was. Watch it again. Froggen. Oh, gets him with gets the flash out of Shrimp as well. And then Shrimp caught out, but then they turn their attention onto Special as he enters the backline. Froggen has to go over the wall because Keen approaches him from the reverse end. And yeah, KFO is not there. KFO is farming. Still,
Top laners.
right in the back.
Chair to the back.
You just get hit over the head with a trophy and then a chair slammed into your back.
Oh, wow. Ray is going to solo KFO right now. Holy cow.
Yeah, Frozen Mallet, it's going to help him out a whole lot there because you can't run away at that point, and that's what Ray's looking like. He's basically saying, as soon as I get to you, you can't run. It's not going to happen. You just kind of have to accept your fate. And KFO, he's going to need that Blade of the Ruined King. He's going for the Duelist build. And because Ray doesn't really have too many defensive stats at the moment, he can pop his R and get some. But
Keith. Yep, gets it.
still gets it. Yeah. Can pop his R, Ray can pop his R, and you get a little more defensive stats, but the Blade of the Ruined King is going to be huge once that does come out. Oh, but Frozen Heart might come out before that. That's the worry.
Oh my goodness. Glacial Shroud picked up for Ray. He is going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We're hitting the 25-minute mark. Next Drake is going to be Cloud Drake number 3. And if Apex can secure that, that's 45 bonus move speed.
And it's always a little deceptive as well because there are soft caps on movement speed. So we'll see if they end up getting the full 45 from it if they do secure it. I believe the first soft cap is 415 movement speed. You take only 80% of movement speed increases after that. And then I believe the other one is 480, and then it's half.
Now it looks like Apex continuing to play the map. Ray split pushing to his heart's content. He hasn't had a thing to worry about this entire game.
No, he hasn't. He's 2-0 and 2. Taking over. Keen's going to try to take over 2.
Yeah, Apex race down the mid lane and bully Froggen away with a lot of AoE. They're going to try to break down this turret, but they don't quite have enough. Ray in the back line. Exhausted, he's still able to destroy Big.
That's the back line, but Big was looking like the front line there,
Yeah.
all the way forward. His Olaf was behind him. He was just looking to move forward and get some poke, and you can see these pink wards on the side that Apex have placed just freeze up Ray to rotate there. And KFO, I mean, he needs to be keeping track of his lane opponent, and so far, he hasn't been following the TP. He has just been farming. He's been losing that 1v1 now, and it's not even to the Rift Herald that Apex had picked up, but it ended up on Special. So right now, KFO, like, right, he's pinging that he's coming, and I guess he pings, but he's not really telling him too much, and he just from the behind. He walks through the turret. Yeah, he walked through plain sight. That's everybody's fault.
Ray came through the tier 2 in the back. He walked through Echo Fox's back line to get to Big in the front line to kill him.
He doesn't care. It's one of those points where I guess you have to tell your team back off, go up, or maybe even just stay at the tier 2. Who knows?
Maybe set up a last bastion of defense at the tier 2. But that mid tier 1 finally went down. 4 turrets to 3, favoring Apex. Cloud Drake has spawned, and Ray is already on that side of the map, clearing out jungle camps.
Might be able to solo it as well.
Doesn't have any lifesteal. Not working on the Blade of the Ruined King.
Yeah.
Might be a little more top.
But I don't know if he will solo it because there's minions to kill. there's things more important for this Jax to be doing.
Map. Yeah. Meanwhile, Keith has been split pushing on the top side of the map for the past few minutes. And he is just unable to cultivate a larger lead. Yeah, Cloud Drake number 3 secured for Apex. Oh, and Ray, whoa. Don't mind me.
Yeah. Ends up eating the E there underneath the turret and gets stunned.
Good timing out of KFO to not die.
Great timing.
Yep. Because if he ate the stun,
He probably would have died. Who knows? Does a lot of damage.
yeah. Apex, though, they're actually going to escort a wave down the mid lane. Froggen is like, team, where is everybody? He sees Shrimp, but nobody is responding from Echo Fox. They're racing there, but this tier 2 is not long for the world. Froggen's got the soldiers in the front. Slides forward, but doesn't quite follow up as he staggers the shifting sands. Apollo is going to be kited
They're
out.
looking for the team fight. Hard ulti.
Trying to collapse. This is a very scary corridor. They don't want to fight Azir in the choke point of the jungle.
Or
Echo
the
Fox, yeah, now racing down the mid lane. They're going to try to break down this mid tier 1 and answer.
Yeah, and mid lane, it's one of the hardest turrets to get on the tier 1, but if you can actually break it and keep going, the tier 2 is one of the easiest to get. But hold on.
Oh, they're going to try to force a fight. Knockup finds Froggen. Ray over the wall gets a huge 3-man stun. There's the divide, and Echo Fox are running his best.
Keen's
they
alone.
can. Keen splits into the back line. Ray still trying to peel them apart as Apex, like peeling the layers of an onion, are trying to get through to the back line, but can't quite do it.
And looking for the Hemo Plague there, because it looked like it was okay. Yeah, it ends up hitting one member, and then, yeah, they were all able to actually go off to the side. And
Echo
Fox,
Fox are trying to burn through the dragon. There's no vision for Apex right now. Ray has got his teleport. Shrimp has to know that this is happening.
Special's not there. Numbers advantage for Fox.
Echo Fox are able to know. Apex steals it. Shrimp is going to secure it. Keen goes into the pit. There's Apollo cleaning up the kill onto Hard. Now Keen is going to look for another. Ray over the wall hops. He gets
still
the
got the
stun
stun.
onto Keith. Oh, he hops forward. Is he going to be able to chase Keith down? Apollo misses the first proc, but Keith is not long for this world. Despite the exhaust, Ray is going to hop in and pick up the kill.
Oh, he's not done.
Apollo
He's
helps
not
him
done.
out. Ray will not be stopped. His quench for blood is just too much.
Bloodthirsty Ray jumping into the back line, going crazy on Jax.
Inhibitors, tier 2 turrets, doesn't matter. We can get kills.
He looked like he wanted to go for that other one,
Yeah.
too. You could see he wanted to dive that
He was
turret.
thinking about it.
Throughout the E, he's like, yeah, you can go. Go tell your friends.
But Apex, due to the huge steal from Shrimp, they've got Baron in the mid lane. They break down this inhibitor while Froggen and Keith are dead. Not enough wave clear means the minions are strong enough. The inhibitor itself will fall, and Apex a 10,000 gold lead 30 minutes into the game.
And that steal from Shrimp stopped Fox from getting back in it. Triple Cloud Drake for Apex. Get there a little bit sooner, and let's see this right here. Gets lower, Shrimp looking for it. Oh, he smited it at 1,070. He wanted to use the Olaf E and smite and do the true damage, but Shrimp got it in there just barely.
It's all that counts. And Ray, you can see over here, cleaning it up as best he can. Froggen's like, wait, I didn't want to be in melee range.
Yep, if only his E still knocked up,
Yeah.
maybe wouldn't have died there, but he did it for the shield.
Frozen Heart now completed on Ray, building towards that Guardian Angel as Apex with Baron buff, setting up the siege. Not even going to try a 4-1 split. Well, Keen actually is going to split in the mid lane. Might be looking to lock Echo Fox out of this inhibitor. Keen goes very deep onto Froggen. Big gets destroyed, while Ray hops off to the far side.
Oh, he wants more. He's gonna try to pop him.
Continuing to chase Echo Fox away while the rest of Apex clean up the inhibitor turret. Their second inhib down.
Gonna look for a little bit more here. That Baron, after Apex was able to steal it, they're gonna try to get so much off it, maybe even the game.
Yeah, it's 5v3. Keen in the front is going to take some damage as Hard tries to clear this minion wave out. They don't quite have enough to end the game just yet. Froggen and Keith have enough wave clear to keep the minions off of the Nexus turret. So, Apex in complete control of this game. They've still got Baron for another minute. Ocean Drake is spawning a minute just after that Baron falls off. 2 inhibs down. Apex are just running rampant.
Yeah, and Ray, you can't stop him right now. Even if you just look at the item difference between him and KFO. It's it's kind of demoralizing for Echo Fox. It's 4 levels up. He's taken everything.
He's 5,000 gold ahead of KFO.
He is half of this 10,000 gold lead.
For every 1 gold that KFO has earned, he has earned 1.5.
Oh, God. Yep, 15K to 10K. Mid laners are actually rather even, both sitting at about 13,000 gold. 80 carries, 12, and then 10.
Oh, no, Keith!
You know what? Oh, ooh, almost.
Keith. Is Ray just going to...
He's gonna go find him.
Yeah.
Keith back, let's go get him.
There's no escaping. Yeah, Ray is huge right now.
Oh, yeah. Level 18, and has the GA, has the defensive stats, has the damage, and he knows it with the base damages that he has from being level 18.
Yeah, Baron buff has fallen off. Xpecial does still have his Rift Herald buff.
Thank God.
We'll see if he can use that to start chipping down this last turret a bit as Super Minion streaming in from the opposite side. There's a ping now onto the Drake, Ocean Drake. Ray says, I'm on my way.
Nah, man. They got Triple Cloud. Completely fine. No more Drakes necessary.
Ray's actually sitting in base. He might be looking for a teleport.
He's looking for a TP play. And here he goes. Let's see him dive that back line.
Oh, the minion didn't take aggro from the turret. It gets reset. Ray races in, and the inhibitor turret just gets shredded.
There we go.
The flash done. Emperor's Divide knocks them away, but Ray hops over from the far side. Are they going to be able to pick it up as KFO zones keying away? Big kiting it out as best he can. Echo Fox are sitting back under the Nexus, but can they keep themselves alive? Ray's Guardian Angel gets popped. KFO is retreating as best he can, but Froggen is dealing so much damage. That's 2 members of Apex dead, but Ray will not be stopped. He picks up another 2 kills. Keen has been kiting back and forth this entire time. Hard finally going to drop to Keen as Keith and KFO will try to burn through, but there's the Sanguine Pool. Triple inhib down. It's Keith trying to clean it up, but with 3 inhibs and a bare Nexus, Echo Fox have to defend.
Oh my God, are they gonna be able to clear all these out in time?
Oh my gosh, they don't have any AoE. Big is trying to get in there to soak the damage from that minion. He doesn't quite have enough. It's dropping 1,000 health, 900. And finally, they're able to stand in front of it.
The minion waves.
Oh my God, that one super minion on the left. KFO is able to snag aggro from it. And this is just against the minions. Apex are still on the map. Yeah. Trip is racing in. Whoa, this is a bit optimistic, Trip.
Yeah, it's a little optimistic there. He ended up getting a serrated Dirk. He's like, I'm gonna take this dagger. I'm gonna kill your Nexus. Let's go.
He's trying to backdoor the inhibitor right now, just as the Nexus. Oh my God, the Nexus. Oh, it goes down. And Apex take game number 1 against Echo Fox.
Those caster minions on the side. Whose job was that? Who was supposed to block those? Echo Fox go down and Apex take game 1.
Oh man, Apex.
Winions.
Yes, the very slow Winions. Complete control of the game, just playing the game that they know. Put Ray in a side lane, let him split push, let him farm it up over the course of the map, and continue to secure these objectives with Ray.
Yeah, and Ray just got a large advantage. They're able to play through him. Teams were kind of figuring out how to play around that strategy, but Echo Fox just seemed a little bit too uncoordinated. It started in Champion Select, like literally missing a ban. I can't remember the last time that's happened. I don't know if that has happened because people weren't attending to their actual thing. Like, we've seen it for people being like, oh, you know, we don't want to ban something here. We're going to be a little trolly.
Like deliberate.
Actually deliberately doing that is something I've seen. I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that works out for them. Now, for some insights into that Apex win, let's check in with Dash and Friends.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. That's actually a really good point, something I almost forgot about through the entirety of the game. The fact that Echo Fox chose not to ban something in their 3rd ban.
All I'm saying is cops never done that. Yeah. Clearly lacking the leadership to remember to ban something.
I mean, we don't necessarily know yet whether or not it was a choice, whether or not it was a misband, or what exactly
around there was. Yeah, a choice. I can't. Impossible to argue that. Because I mean, like, you do it in scrims to just be like, well, we leave everything up to see what they play. You're in a game, you can ban something you know you're not going to play.
Right.
That they might. There's got to be one thing. So
we're not going to play Cassiopeia, so we might as well ban it against them, as opposed to just not.
It's a throwaway ban, but ban it. Ban something.
Right. Exactly. So anyway, the misban. Who knows exactly exactly what that was. Maybe miscommunication, hurting for the lost coach at the time. Not necessarily the reason they lost the games, but let's go ahead and take a look at this champion select. We see Vladimir was the first pick, obviously a very powerful champion, but that Jack's going over to Ray. So APX still very comfortable saying we're going to give him a strong split pusher and look for him to pressure on the map and be that kind of one-man army that he has been for them before.
Once he got to that point, it was, you know, all flowers and suns and roses, but before that, you know, it kind of looked a little bit too slow at the pace that APX would be playing in, and I think it just had to do with the fact that nobody could really predict that Echo Fox was going to do that little.
Well, like, I think that's the thing, too.
They're just not looking at the map. Like, Jax is going behind a tier 2 turret to gank middle, and nobody's calling this out, or they're pushing down the tier 2 middle from straight up mid lane, and they're not responding. Like, where is Echo Fox at?
If you're playing against a team with bad macro and very little initiative, and you just take kind of like this hyper-scaling split pusher, you're probably going to win the game just off that pick, because when are they going to punish it? They don't really have great tools for punishing it if they're not doing it in like a team situation where they're forcing fights or collapsing. They don't have like a single thing that's going to deal with them. So I think the Jax pick was good, and, and Fox is definitely not the team to really punish that pick.
I mean, I thought the ending was so fitting to the way that Fox has been playing. You just end up losing to minions. Like, can somebody please just protect the objectives that you have to protect?
Right, yeah, there was a decent attempt at the base save in terms of the actual fight between the two teams there at the end, but then you lose to minions. That's an unfortunate way to go. I want to dive into some gameplay, though. Let's hop 22 minutes into the game. Baron fight that's going to end up 2-0 for Apex here off of Fox initiation.
Yeah, Fox had moved into that area and was looking for a pick for a little bit, and they try and scoop the one person that they run into, but they're not able to kill him. The Rek'Sai gets away, and then the rest of the time is just Apex collapsing and chasing down. Ray's able to pop in there, get one, keep going after, and I believe they get Keith as well.
Yeah, they'll get a second kill here. Boom. Brom.
Special.
Picking up.
Picking up too much. He picked up the Rift Herald as well.
Oh, my goodness. That was just unfortunate and kind of sad. But
that's an unfortunate is a nice way of putting it. But
you would have liked to have that on Ray.
Yeah. Probably a little better on the split pushing Jax. Brom's just going to go split push now.
You never know. It's burst. That's burst damage now from Brom that you are not expecting.
Well, one thing I did really like about Ray was his build against Aurelia. We've seen the Jax versus Aurelia matchup tons of times, and we've seen it go both ways. But his build was a little bit different, because most Jaxes we see them go with a Blade of the Ruin King second item, but Ray went with a Frozen Mallet and the Frozen Heart. So the extra CDR makes that matchup really easy for Jax, because more stuns means you just dodge out of most of the Aurelia damage, and it's a lot easier to chase out. Because one of the strengths of Aurelia in that matchup, you stun and you run away. But with the Mallet, with the max CDR, it's really hard for Aurelia to get out of her.
And the attack speed's slow.
And we really just saw him take off. 28 minutes into the game, picking up a triple kill. I mean, it was a terrifying thing here to see him running around the map, deathless.
This call was just the start of Fox just not knowing what to do, because Apex had just retreated from the Baron pit, and they decided to start Baron randomly with zero preparation, and immediately a great collapse with finally Shrimp gets the steal that he wants all along, and it just turns into the ratio here. Look at how much cooldown reduction. Like, he just jumps. Now he's going to jump again, and then he's going to jump one more time to just clean them up. You know, the max CDR on Jax is just so strong.
The 4v1. It's crazy. He just finally keeps killing people. You know, the health pool and the resistances that he has as well now.
Right. I was going to say also just the level advantage that he had. I mean, there in that replay being at level 16 to on the support still in the single digits on the opposite side, right? So that's just, that discrepancy is huge, and for Jax, base stats are such a huge thing. And then, as you mentioned, just also having like an item advantage and CDR across the board.
I mean, one thing I did like from Fox was they at least tried more stuff this game. I mean, it wasn't necessarily great, but they were. Oh, here's another replay of.
I mean, this is the top lane push. You can continue your point while we watch this out. But
I want to watch. I want to watch Jax pop off.
That's fine. Well, but this is actually one of Fox's best defenses here, right? They actually play this fight out pretty decently, considering the gold deficit, item deficit that they're at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Keem didn't play this fight as aggressively as Vladimir should with his Zhonya's up. He kind of backed out before he even needed to use it, where usually you want to get really deep and then use it to get your health all back. So not an ideal fight from Apex either, but Fox does kite around fairly well. Keem does go in there, pick up a kill, but he's going to go down for it. Not the cleanest fight overall. But what I was saying was Fox did try a couple things. They were like in the top river at one point, for a couple kills, and then, well, they got killed, but they were trying to look for kills, and they
Right.
try that Baron rush. They're not well set up plays, but it's an improvement. Like, the first step is, like, looking for something.
Right. Our discussions over the past couple days have been about the fact that Fox seems to just roll over, right?
I mean,
They're
I thought we
not
saw
even making
improvement
attempts to get back.
in game 1 against TSM, but then now here they're just like,
Well, a lot of that was, like, TSM kind of messing up. Whereas,
but
like,
we could like at least from flash initiations we're looking at more aggressive plays as opposed to we just show up to Baron and hope that we can somehow get it before they react. Like, that's not going to work here anymore.
yeah.
I mean, this ties back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the day. These bottom tier teams that we're looking at, it's not just one problem that they need to fix, right? It's many issues. Well, one of which is proactivity, right? That they don't seem to have any element of proactivity on the side of Echo Fox. If they don't just get the advantage from their laning phase, we're not really sure how they're going to find it as a team.
And they have early game issues. We saw them mess up a level 1. I think it was yesterday, and then today Hard gets invaded on, he gets killed. Like, it's not like it's just, come mid-late game there are some issues.
Right.
We see issues well before then.
Well, what I do want to see from Echo Fox is putting more of the initiative and proactiveness on champions that Froggen can really excel at, such as the Lissandra, the TF, the LeBlanc. We know he can play these champions very well, but he's resorting to all the more meta picks like the Azir, the Victor, and I mean, sometimes even Brand. I'm not sure what happened with that one. But if he's playing on champions that can influence the map more than just, hey, I'm going to win my lane and then hopefully outplay in the team fights, I just don't see Echo Fox being able to come up with as many wins as they need to. I want to see him being able to port and at least punish people because it's very clear that he's the guy that knows how to win these games. Because in the comms, we hear him calling out, and the actual movements, we see him playing it properly, but the team is just not up to the same level.
To be fair, and I think team up to the same level is a big part too, because like Bjergsen will play the same picks and he'll suddenly be bot lane diving with Haunsters and picking up a kill on Azir, right? Like, not necessarily what you think is the biggest playmaking champion. And so I think it's true that you can give him like Lissandra, a more individual playmaking champion, but at the same time, his whole team needs to work together to start moving around and doing well-coordinated plays, and that's where they're kind of more falling apart.
Finally, we got a hit player of the game. It is going to go to Ray on that Jack, 6-0-5. Just absolutely bloodthirsty, 11.0 KDA on that one, and just some serious threat in the top lane, showing that this strategy that Ray as a split pusher is still something that Apex can go to. There was kind of a falter at the end of week 2 or during week 3 where we were saying maybe this strategy for Apex isn't going to work anymore. Teams are starting to figure it out, but they're showing that there are still cases where they can put him ahead.
Well, I really like the build so much. From the Jax against the Aurelia, you don't have to go with the sustain because it makes you more vulnerable to getting collapsed on the gank. So just going with a more tanky so you can eventually transition into the team fight. I just thought it's such a smart adaptation of that matchup that is very clear he's practiced on.
All right, well, good on him. Apex picking up game 1 in their series against Fox. It's time for some commercials, so when we're done with the break, we'll bring you game 2 between Apex and Echo Fox. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, who's the old guy?